Hey, folks, another Keith's Vision. We've gone through another week, and the left are destroying themselves. We'll start this off on this cover page. This just lays it out there for you. The brown bear standing up, the black bear standing up, and the racist bear standing up. I mean, the white bear. It's just make it stop, right? Just make it stop. We're in an interesting time in our society. Racism, as I mentioned, I believe it was in last show or the show before, when Obama came on stage and he was in his campaigning. He threw a blowtorch on racism and just let it burn. So, and they, of course, guilt got him voted in. Guilt and a guy who could speak well. Great. All right, so let's get going on the trending. Interesting. Can you ask yourself, what is trending today? Yeah. Jeffrey Epstein. In the past 20 minutes, he only fell out of first position for about 5 minutes. And he went right back in. Trending right after that is Matt Gaetz, and then Laura Loomer. She gets out there and really lets it rip. So we'll go through a few of these things. Everybody on the right is they're angry. They want the Epstein files. They don't want just bits and pieces of it. It's theirs. It's their information. We're the people. Let it loose. We know that's not going to happen. They dropped a binder of information today, and it's phase one. So I don't know what else to say to that, right? So here, Eagle Wings on X here, President Trump was not a fan of Jeffrey Epstein. He kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago for being inappropriate with a member's daughter. He was the only one who helped the lawyer for the victims of Jeffrey Epstein. A lot of these things are crazy. So the FBI has been protecting Jeffrey Epstein's client lists for decades, or clients for decades. You think? This is why people screaming and yelling that they want their list. It's like, it's not your list. It's not your list. All right, let me get back to the page I just refreshed off of. There's a few others in here that I wanted to touch on. Where did Epstein go? There he is. There he is. So yeah, everybody's just freaking out. I mean, all the talk is all about Epstein. And it's like, there's bigger things going on in the world, especially in our country with 15 plus million people that have been brought in intentionally. And now everybody's going after Doge and Trump and the whole administration because we have measles again. 25 years ago, measles was considered eliminated. And all of a sudden we have measles. Let me think. Yeah, you bring a bunch of people from other countries from all over the place, you're bound to bring some things in, both diseases and people that are bound to tear your country down. So now the big thing is they're going after them for causing measles. Yeah. Show me the Venn diagram on that one. So here we are, still on the Epstein trending here. Isabel Maxwell is the technological director of the World Economic Forum. We've talked about them a lot. She's also the sister of Ghislaine Maxwell, one of the world's most notorious child traffickers and partner of Jeffrey Epstein. Interesting. The members to Epstein Island and the WEF are the same. This is from Cillian on X. Bunch of crazy articles in here. Same thing here from Epstein's sheet. The FBI has been protecting the Epstein clients for decades, right? And then here was the interesting thing. This guy, Josiah Rises, called this out. He said, this is a horrible look. We're talking about Jeffrey Epstein here with over 200 plus victims and powerful elites, and we have influencers posing for a photo op. And then he's, again, saying the same thing. Release everything, unredacted, to the public now. We got bigger fish to fry than the Epstein list. I'm not too concerned about the Epstein list. Our kids will take care of that. Pam Bondi, our new two dudes in the FBI. Yeah. Yeah. And then from Wall Street Apes, he got a snapshot here of Glenn Beck. Wall Street Apes says the problem has been identified. It's the New York FBI office withholding the Epstein files and the Epstein tapes, the actual recordings of the clients having sex with minors. When you deal with evil, it's tough. It's tough. But then again, the Bible's been pretty clear about it. The world's not going to get better. It's going to get worse because Satan and his minions are going to gain more and more power over this planet. So get your salvation in order because it's not going to be long. Might be in the next 2 years, might be in the next 10 minutes, might be in the next 10 years. That's why there's so much conflict over when the rapture occurs, because I think God wanted everybody to be on the wall, watchmen on the wall, looking, constantly looking, getting others to come to Christ. I think that was the biggest thing. If you told somebody when they're coming back, they'd be there that day. So just get your salvation going. So eagle wings, let this sink in. Doja's not coming after your money. They're coming after the people that are stealing your money. But what's happening is the left is screaming and yelling that Elon is trying to be the president and he wants all this money. You know, he's the richest man living on this planet. Why would he want an America that has $2 trillion in the deficit and 36 trillion.5 in debt? Where's he going to get that money? As a nation, we don't make that much money. So these people really need to get straightened out. And then, of course, one of my faves, Donna Marie, put together a George Orwell 2025, and he's looking at the phone just going, what? Who could have thought? And then I saw this, I believe it was last night, Rob Schmidt on Newsmax. The amount of questions that a president took in the first month of their presidency. Obama, first term, 161. Trump, first term, 199. Biden, sole term, 141. Trump in his second term, 1,009. That's 1009. If you've been watching any of the news, he's in there signing his executive orders and paperwork and everything else, and he's taking questions, and of course he's also taking the stupid ones because the left, they can't help themselves. And he's actually setting those people back down and saying, "No, come on. A question like that, what are you doing?" All right, so let's move into what's going on in the X sphere and out there just in the news. I don't know how much this is being covered out on lamestream legacy propaganda media, but Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers has eliminated mother and replaced it with inseminated person in state law. I have a second tab that we'll look at here. There's bits and pieces to this. You know how it is when everybody gets on the bandwagon, it becomes, one big nuclear bomb. Funky Town is saying mentally sick people. Yeah, even after reading the article, I would have to say yes. It's all part of their plan to destroy the family. We've seen that coming, and God told us about that a long time ago. It says here, it's absolutely insulting. That term is degrading as if women are nothing more than cattle. It's an attack on the very essence of motherhood. I'm guessing that Funky Town is a female by the icon and the strength of her words. Perhaps he views his mother as just an inseminated person. Total spiritual depravity. Yeah, absolutely true. I would agree with that. So here's an article that I came across that was fairly clear on where they're doing this. So he proposes replacing mother with inseminated person in state law. So Governor Evers, a Democrat, is facing backlash for introducing a budget recommendation, okay, that changes the word mother to inseminated person and paternity to parentage in certain parts of state law. But this is for the budget recommendation. So, wow. The Evers administration's budget recommendation for 25 through 27 fiscal period advises several other gendered terms be changed as well. References to wife or husband are changed to spouse in the proposal. In other places, the word father is changed to parent, and mother is swapped out for the phrase, wait for this, parent who gave birth to the child. You can't make this stuff up. I mean, if they're going to do that, then I guess fathers are going to be needed to be called the inseminator, because we are just off our rockers. This is how you know the Bible's true, because this is all playing out, and it was already foretold that it would be playing out. Not to this depth, but men's hearts will grow cold. People will walk away from their faith. They'll heap up teachers for their itching ears. All right, on to some FAFO. Luke Russiak on X posts at 4:30 p.m. Leland Dudik's boss put him on leave for helping Doge find fraud. They want to fire me, he wrote. I confess, I helped Doge understand the SSA, Social Security Administration. Within hours, it was his boss who was fired, and the longtime SSA waste watcher was elevated to lead the whole agency. Now that is FAFO. Coming right back at you. Gotta love it. Now here's Elon again. It's amazing the stuff they are finding. Some of this stuff is amazing. So Elon is in the office with Trump, and he notes there are far more eligible Social Security numbers than there are citizens in the USA. This might be the biggest fraud in history. I heard numbers in the 60 million, exceeding our citizens. Where's that money going, right? How many dead people are collecting checks at 350 years old? Now this is a video. I'm not going to play it. I'll just read the short version of it. But she's pretty angry. And this is why Trump got voted in, right? This is in essence the core of it. Just the waste and the fraud and the lying and everything else. So Trinity posts this, Doge at work. Bunch of exclamation points. Absolutely. Asking, is this she for real? Posting this and I'm supposed to feel sorry for her? So she's pretty animated in this minute 30 uh, deal. It's amazing that it's even for real. So she says DHS is forcing me to sell my 2024 BMW, gets better, or my food stamps get cut from 4,000 a month to 88 a month. So where'd she get the money for a 2024 BMW? That was last year's model. That would mean that that's a brand new car. We're supposed to feel sorry for her on that? They also cut my cash benefits and telling me Section 8 will no longer pay 95% of my rent. What do I do? This is when you consider the fact that there is no pill for stupid. We haven't found one yet. I mean, we're looking, but we haven't found one yet. So this is just one of many. And one of my things was, and I commented on this one. I said, if she's for real, she's part of the fraud being uncovered. Seeing this is actually encouraging, knowing food stamps receivers are being validated for meeting conditions that the system is designed for. Entitlement 10x. This is just one individual. And she's thinking to herself, how am I going to do this? Well, you've been sucking off the system for so long. I'm sure you're asking, how are you going to do this? I'm sure she's got other expenses. She had $4,000 a month coming in food stamps. That's $1,000 a week for food. Yeah, there's fraud. Thank you, Doge. Robert F. Kennedy. Got to love the man. He replied to the 5 bullet points that the news has been going absolutely ape about. He puts, Dear Mr. President Trump, my 5 accomplishments last week. Swapped seed oils for butter in the break room. Banned kale propaganda. Turned parking lot into a farmer's market. Replaced soda machines with raw milk fountains. Gotta love it. And his voicemail says, Maha, M-A-H-A, on repeat. More next week. Oh, Robert, we love you. So here goes freedom. We've been talking about this for a long time, and it was we almost got it here in the U.S. Breaking, and this is from Inevitable West on X. And I saw a couple articles on other suppliers as well, but this pretty much sums it up. Apple surrenders to the labor government and removes highest level data security tool for Apple users. The government now has access to its citizens' messages and camera roll. Anybody old enough to know what 1985 is? This is the biggest breach of privacy Western civilization has ever seen. Britain is in big trouble. So on the article, I asked Grok for some more details. Basically, some people are thinking that it's giving the camera and your messages on your phone access to the police. It's not, but it's just as bad, because the messages on your phone and the pictures on your phone go to your iCloud content. So the post references the Apple's removal of its advanced data protection feature for UK users, a decision prompted by the Labour government's demand for access to encrypted data under the Investigatory Powers Act, as reported by The Guardian and the Washington Post on February 21, 2025. This action follows a broader tension between tech companies and governments over encryption, with the UK seeking to access iCloud data for law enforcement. So in other words, law enforcement will now be able to go through the data. They don't need a reason. They just need the data, marking a significant policy shift and raising concerns among privacy advocates. Anybody that was paying attention in the past 4 years, this is what we were about to get. We dodged a bullet. But we constitutionally, we have to hold this country. We have to hold it, and we have to hold it tight. There will be more of this. And then there's a note about the digital eye in the picture. The image in the post featuring a digital eye over the UK flag symbolizes surveillance and privacy concerns, aligning with the post's focus on the government's increased access to citizens' personal data. Yeah. Germany, they're going and knocking on people's doors and arresting them for making memes and commenting. I watched the video today. A guy was saying he's going to court for a meme he generated and posted 4 years ago. And then he has a second follow-up court date for a meme that he was involved with 8 years ago. He didn't even create the memes 8 years ago, but he just happened to be on the thread. This is where we're going. Gotta love Cash. Give him a big old kiss on the cheek. FBI launching probe into former director James Comey. This is where we get outside the Constitution. Back in 2016, so Patel has launched an investigation into former FBI Director James Comey regarding the Bureau's alleged surveillance of the 2016 Trump campaign, a report had noted on Tuesday. The Washington Times revealed that Comey, who President Trump dismissed as FBI Director in 2017, has been accused by a whistleblower, of authorizing an off-the-books investigation into Trump. That's all I need to read. We all know. We all saw it. We smelled it. And that's where we were thinking, this is not going to go well. Now we got the right people in there. We got Kash Patel and we got Dan Bongino. It's going to get better, folks. At least for the short term. So I've been waiting for somebody to explain this, and it has come up that the pre-crime pardons of Fauci, Cheney, and the rest of them won't cover lying to Congress, says analysts. This was February 10. Journalist Matt Taibbi said during an interview with former Fox News star Tucker Carlson on his podcast earlier this week that former President Joe Biden's preemptive pardons for Dr. Anthony Fauci and former Rep. Liz Cheney and others could wind up backfiring under certain circumstances. This is what I was waiting for. You don't do pre-crime, and Biden was the first one to do pre-crime pardons. They hadn't been accused of anything. They weren't in court for anything, but he gave them a pardon anyway. All that did is put a target on their back for the legal system. So Taibbi goes on. The thing is about these pardons, they're a mistake. If you want to know what's happening, they just made it a lot easier for us to find out. Regarding suspicions that Biden preemptively pardoned several individuals who likely were involved in some form of criminal activity. The conversation continues. You can see where it goes, right? What it basically boils down to, my understanding is, from all the different things that I've read out there, that the pardon doesn't give them sweeping, I get to walk away hands free. I'm good. The pardon forces them to relinquish their Fifth Amendment rights. So now, if called to court, they cannot plead the Fifth Amendment. They have to answer. And if they don't answer truthfully, and the person asking the questions in Congress has the correct information, yeah, you can toss that pardon goodbye. So in trying to help out people, Biden has actually put targets on their back for the legal system. You can't make this stuff up. You just can't. And again, the pre-crime pardons that Joe gave them, we're all saying it. It's like you just announced that these people have done things wrong. Without saying it, you said, I pardoned this guy for whatever he did. Like his son, he pardoned him for like 11 years back. Anything he did 11 years ago, he's pardoned. First time in history, there's no precedent for it. So it's going to get real interesting. I'm looking forward to it. Get your popcorn machines ready. We're ready. So this is how off the rails the left is. They can't think straight. So this is from End Wokeness on X. Rep Captor, who's a Democrat, says since Elon Musk is an immigrant, he is not loyal to the US. Really? Then how about the 15 plus million illegal, not immigrants, illegal aliens that were led across the border from the north to the south, from the south to the north into our country? Does this now mean that they're not loyal as well? They keep saying that these guys are picking strawberries and we're sending the strawberry pickers back home. Who's going to pick my fruit? Who's going to make my bed? Who's going to mow my lawn? And this lady comes out and says that he's not going to be loyal to the U.S. Beautiful. You just put the Democrats out there on the field and just let them play. I don't know. It's like a mind virus, and that's from Elon, I think. But it's like a mind virus. They're just stuck together on the same message. And then, of course, whatever they say that day, the left lamestream legacy propaganda machine is going to say the same thing. All right. So as serious as things have been, we've got good days going on for the country, and we've got noise, right? It's just noise. Remember to focus in on the signal, right? I want you to ask yourself this one question. If you don't believe in God, if you're challenged with not believing in God, go to the Bible and read the first 4 words. If you can't believe those 4 words, then you need to ask yourself, should I? Is everything that these Bible thumpers telling me, is it true? Or is it not? I'm going to go back to the very simple thing. Amos 9, 14, and 15. Israel is back in their land. As told. No other country on the planet was sent to the 4 corners of the planet and came back to their original land. None. The Bible wrote that in the book of Amos and elsewhere. Ezekiel 36, I think I mentioned last week. So those 4 words, okay, you got to really be challenged with those 4 words. I got this from one of our, but I don't think it was a Bible study. I think it was a Sunday sermon from one of the elders. And I thought it was very interesting to take a look at it for that. In the beginning, God. That's all you need. If you can't get past those 4 words, the rest of the Bible is not going to make any sense. And he created the heavens and the earth. And as we know, it goes on and on for there. Again, do the research. You're gonna have smoking, or you're gonna have non-smoking. Remember, Earth's preparing for a war. Heaven is preparing for a wedding. Choose your destination. Well, you still can, because we are in a spiritual warfare. If you don't believe it, it'll come for you. So policies for the people, don't forget to go there. You can look it up. Don't Google it. Find some other search engine. Second Amendment shall not be infringed, right? I got to go through this quick because I got to get this up here for you. The help me sign, right? Simple. Everybody you know should know that. And then the Tower Garden, you can scan the QR code from the main video. Other than that, I will see you next week. And have a great week. Have a safe one and keep your head on a swivel. Thank you very much for your time.